I love hearing you say that it's one of your favorite decades because I feel like going into your 40s needs a rebrand. I'm excited to move into this new chapter because it's almost like a challenge to myself of like, how good can I feel as I age?
I very intentionally shifted my career away from the medical center to more online so that I had more flexibility and freedom in my life,
Yeah.
so that I can have more babies and I can
Yeah.
be more flexible. And I just, this last year, I'm feeling less of that freedom and flexibility. I feel like with the fourth, there's just so many needs that need to be met. And at every hour, and different ages calls for different needs, different times. There's just like a never shut off time. But that's okay. I didn't become a mom for an easy life. It's so rich and so full and so fulfilling. And it is not easy. And I think us moms just have to give ourselves more grace and remind ourselves that. Hey, Dr. Moms, welcome back to another episode of the Dr. Mom Podcast. All right, today feels extra special. I think Steph and I, we haven't even sat down to chat. We are such close friends, but we're busy moms ourselves. And we've been friends for over a decade, almost like 13 years, I think, Steph, right? Right.
Yeah.
And it's still hard for us to find the time to connect. So selfishly, I'm just like so excited, Steph, just to sit down with you. But also, you guys listening, you're literally just like hearing us chat as if we're like at a coffee shop or on the phone. Cause I've got some like life updates. Steph has some life updates, some big milestones coming up. And we love to share the raw, the real with you guys because I just feel like motherhood should never be alone. We should never feel isolated. We should be able to share our wins, but also like the struggles and the hard times. So here's the episode for today in that regard. But before we actually start the episode, I do want to take a quick moment just to thank you guys. And I'm so excited to share that the way that we've made changes on the podcast, recently we've done a lot shorter episodes for you busy moms. We've done a lot more solo episodes. So as the expert, as an ND and an RD, we're sharing a lot with you. When we choose like our guests, we really, really are so picky because we just want it to be such a great episode. And it's totally been working because we've now reached double our downloads for the months that we've been like airing. And so we are just so happy that you guys like all the changes. We are doing this for you. We would not be doing it if we knew you didn't love it. So we're just so excited about that news. And so thanks for sticking with us here. As a reminder, we're also on YouTube now. This is new for us. So if you want to see our faces instead of just hear our voices, head on over to YouTube. We're under Med School for Moms. That's pretty much the umbrella business for where the Dr. Mom podcast lives. So please go ahead and follow us there, subscribe there. It's been really fun. I think sometimes it's nerve-wracking to do this in front of a video. I think, Steph, you could probably mention that.
Yeah.
I like doing video. It's fun, but it's still like another thing to do, like put on a face and do our thing. But I think it's really working well and it's been really fun. So we're testing that out and I'm happy to do that. But today's episode, it's really just me and Steph just sharing our personal updates, maybe a little bit behind the scenes, a big milestone that's coming up for Steph. So excited to share. And honestly, moms like listening or watching, we're just happy that you're here sharing our lives with you. Again, the raw, the real, the struggles, the excitement. And so we're going to share a lot with you today. So I'm looking forward to it. So Steph, again, just happy to just have you and get to chat with you today.
Oh my gosh, yes, this is so fun. And like Ilana said, we haven't caught up in such a long time. So I'm equally excited for this interview to listen to what's going on with you and share a couple of things that are going on in my world.
Perfect. Well, what's really going on in your world, what's so exciting is that you are about to turn 40. Now, when we're sitting here talking, it's going to be days away. While we air it, you would have already been 40 officially. So I would just love to hear mostly what your birthday plans are, perhaps, but also like, how do you feel about entering this new decade? I know for me, it's one of my favorite decades, but for some people, it's a little bit of mixed feeling. So how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I love hearing you say that it's one of your favorite decades because I feel like going into your 40s needs a rebrand. Because I remember in my 20s, even early 30s, it kind of felt scary. You're like, oh my gosh, 40 feels old. Like it feels like you're at a totally different place in your life. And as I'm thinking about turning 40, I've actually found myself like when people are like, oh, how old are you? Like I basically say I'm 40 already and like almost proud of it, even though I'm not quite. Like I'm aging myself. And then I have to like rewind. I'm like, well, actually, no, I'm 39. I'm going to be 40. But in what world do you actually like say that you are older? And I think it's because I feel excited about a lot of the emotional and mental changes that are happening in my life. And, with 40, you hear a lot of people talk about the fact that they have less of a filter and they say what's on their mind and they are very clear on what their values are and will prioritize things in a way that is more aligned than maybe at other parts of their life. And a lot of people too have been people pleasers in past lives and past decades. And I'm really losing that need, that like fear, I guess, of making sure everybody is taken care of before myself. And that feels so good. And so I think I'm excited to move into this new chapter because it's almost like a challenge to myself of like, how good can I feel as I age, and kind of moving away from falling victim of aging is going to make you feel crappy or you're going to suffer as you get older. And so it is like that competitive nature in me is like, all right, let's go. So as I'm thinking about my 40th birthday, I've shared this a couple times before, but for anybody new, it is kind of cool having a summer birthday because it makes the logistics of planning the adulting things in my life a lot easier. So hopefully everybody that's listening is going to the dentist twice a year or going to the dermatologist once a year. And so I like to plan those type of appointments. So I do one in December and one around my birthday in June. Those are milestones that make it really easy for me. And so thinking in this June, I'm doing my dermatology visit. I do those twice a year. I have a family history of melanoma, and I feel like birthmarks and moles are so hard for me to decipher if they're concerning or if they're normal. Like I'll go into my dermatologist and I'll be like, this one looks really scary. And he's like, oh, nope, that's just an ugly duckling one. And he just kind of moves on and it's no big deal. And so I think that gives me peace of mind is just, I understand a lot of things with health. You too, as a naturopathic doctor, and listeners that are also listening probably can advocate for themselves and be doctor moms in a lot of ways, but I don't mess around when it comes to skin health. So that's on my list. And the other thing, turning 40 is we start thinking about mammograms and breast cancer screening. And we actually had brought somebody on the show to talk about a different type of screening called the QT scan. And that is unfortunately not super available all across the world yet. They're building more locations, but it's basically an ultrasound that looks at like your 3D whole breast imaging, and it doesn't have radiation, and it's very accurate. And especially if you have somebody like dense breast tissue that needs more scanning options, this is a great one. And so that's like actually one of my adulting plans of turning 40 is driving 3 hours to go get this special scan to.
So you're going to do it. Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Talking about that. Good job. Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Yeah. So that's kind of the top of my list. The other thing that I do every year for my birthday, and again, having that June and December timeframe is helpful, is, at the beginning of the year, I set goals and kind of think about different areas of my life that I want to work on. So I think about the dimensions of family, career, health, and relationships. And I choose one thing that I really want to work on in each of those realms. And June is halfway through the year. So I think about, okay, have I made progress on that? Have I improved, or do I need to modify it, or have I just really not done the work? And so I spend time thinking about that. And I find with these type of things, having a different environment can be really helpful when you're kind of thinking about where you're at in different points of your life. So I will schedule time to go to a coffee shop and bring my journal and kind of reflect away from my home. Or, we're going to meet up actually. That's like one of my birthday plans in Boise with a couple of girlfriends at the end of the month. And again, that's quiet time away where I can have that deep reflection time, because I think it's so important. Instead of just looking at it once a year, like your New Year's resolution, is like really checking in, whether that's quarterly or twice a year, to see how you're progressing. One of the realms that I wanted to share was about family. So what I wanted to prioritize in January was putting my phone down more often. And I think on the episode in the beginning of the year, I talked about the brick application. And so it's something that you can set limits for. So you can't open up social media, or you can't open up your Gmail, or you can't open up Slack on your phone during certain times. And if you want to bypass that, you have to actually go to a physical device and tap it. That has been hugely helpful for me. And so was reflecting on that. I mean, it's like a $50 device. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't need that. I shouldn't need that. But it can be so helpful. And that's really helped me this year. The other thing I haven't told you about, Elana, is that we got chickens.
Oh my God, that's like on my wish list. I think Anthony was like, fine, we could do it next year, but with the baby. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, I love this.
We got 6 chickens. We inherited them from a friend who I used to buy eggs from her chickens and love them because the yolk and everything is just so much more beautiful and fresh and nourishing. And she was moving from having, gosh, she had like 30 acres of land and all these animals, but it was such a drive for her to get to her work and to her kids' school. So they moved to somewhere that had an HOA. And she's like, Steph, you are my best buyer of these eggs. Like, do you want these chickens? And when we moved to the new house, on my wish list was to get a dog, which we did, to get chickens, which were on that list, and then to plant a garden.
Great.
So we haven't done the garden yet, but we definitely got the chickens. So 2 out of 3. But it's funny, my husband was joking with me of like, it's an investment, right? To get the coop, to get the chickens, to get the feed, like all of that. And it really isn't about like getting cheaper eggs at the end of the day, because like
it's not, it's like a break even, is it? So if that, some people tell me this. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun and they're so quirky. And it's been something where we're outside in the morning to let them out and getting that like sunlight exposure. And then we have to put them in the coop at night. So we're getting that like nighttime light exposure. And then the kids have had such a blast with it. And it's just getting us outside and away from our phones and recharging with nature. And that's been super fun.
Oh my God, I'm so envious. I'm so sorry. I sit here. I wanted to do it so badly this year. Again, it's just not the season for us, but
we'll get there.
This is so great, Steph. I'll have to just call you up. I have a few friends who have it, so I can ask, but like, it's just, to me, one of the coolest things for the kids and for the family. It's like, I said to Anthony, if we're going to have a pet that we have to like really take care of, we might as well get eggs from it.
Yeah, I know.
And we go through so many eggs. Okay, continue. This is so great.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I recommend it. It is fun. The other thing is we went on a family vacation with my dad, who's the editor. Thank you, Dad. Yeah. And one of the parts of cruises that I really like is the Wi-Fi is so expensive. So expensive that I tend to opt out unless I really need it for some reason. And what that forced me to do is a pause from checking emails, checking social media, even text messages, really. And when we were coming back off the ship, ending the cruise, that was something I was so clear I wanted to have more in my life, is like really disconnecting, because you feel like a completely different person when it's just not an option. Like it's not an option. And so you are finding ways to be with the family and play and be silly and not think about other things that aren't in your immediate need right now. And so that's part of it too, is like really when you take vacations, figuring out what part of that vacation was special for you. Was it that you tried new foods, or that you were a little bit more spontaneous, or that you slept in, or whatever it means to be special for you? And so that's kind of what I'm bringing in.
Great. And then I pause for a second?
Yeah.
And didn't you bump into one of our podcast listeners on the cruise?
I did. Oh my gosh, that was so special.
Fun. Yeah. And honestly, moms, if you're listening, if you ever see us out and about, please come up to us. We love meeting you in real person, in real life. In real life as a real person. We are real people. Okay, I love that so much.
Yeah. It was a cute story. We were sitting at a restaurant and a listener came up to me and she's like, "Are you Stephanie Grinke?" And I was sitting with my dad and my kids, and she said that she's been listening to the podcast since the very beginning. And it was just so special. And we actually bonded. We met later on, and her husband was in the military, and so my husband and her husband bonded, and we hung out like a ton and still stay in touch. So it's definitely come up to us. We love meeting you.
I love that.
And then gosh, we talked about how I'm feeling. I think I'm feeling really, really good. One of the things we talked about was progesterone has made a world of difference. So I'm feeling a lot more calm as approaching 40. I saw a reel, and then I'll end this rant, but I saw a reel that was like, the goal isn't to look like you're 25 when you're 40, right? Like, I think that's what some people have in like, oh, I've got to do a ton of Botox and I've got to look this certain way. But the goal is to help other 25-year-olds feel excited to be 40. And I thought that was so special too, of this rebranding of, your body's going to change, things are going to change in your life, but how can you continue to do the things that you know are the right moves to feel your best and to get excited about aging?
Great. I love that. Well, you look amazing for entering your 40s. Honestly, I think a lot of it is because you're so health focused. It's so funny as I'm hearing you. What's your health plan, or what's your birthday plans? I knew you were going to talk about health. Like, but you do it every year.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, oh, my birthday plans. Okay, I'm going to do this and this and this. And I'm like, you are so funny. Most people's birthday plans are like, I'm going to go out with my friends, or I'm going to go to I don't know, whatever it is. And you're all about just health related stuff. And it's because it's a passion of yours and it's so aligned. So I'm so happy for
Yeah.
you with that. The other thing I want to mention with the QT, because I just looked it up, I want to
Yeah.
remind moms, if you have not listened, it's episode 338.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you are interested, it was such an incredible episode with Dr. Jennifer
Yes.
Simmons. Okay. It's so worth watching if you're trying to figure out what you're doing for all your breast health needs. It's just an option, right? And it's
Yeah.
something that we just love to share and to educate. I honestly think the next 10 years, it's going to end up being standard
I
of
agree.
care. I just have this like feeling. It's so awesome. So
Yeah.
if you're interested, go back to that episode, okay? Okay, before we move on to kind of my health updates, I do want to ask
Yeah.
you, one of the things that I admire so much about you, Steph, is that you're such like avid learner. Okay. Like from the moment I met you, it was always like, what are you doing Friday night? Oh, I'm watching this webinar. And I'm like, Steph, like, go do something. Or I'm reading this book or whatever. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to ask was, when you look back now on your 30s, right? Like a whole
Yeah.
decade, what are some of either the books or just the health things that you've learned that's truly like made such a big difference for you in that decade of life that maybe you're bringing into your 40s, or just things that you just want to highlight?
Yeah. Well, we actually had one of the guests of the topics I'm going to talk about, Dr. B, talking about
Oh,
fiber
great.
fueled and just the importance of a diversity of plant-based foods in your diet. Like that, I think, is something I didn't appreciate or think about as much. You think about macros and you think about whole foods and that kind of thing, but not the diversity of fiber and just making sure you're getting enough. And especially in these days, like the focus is so much on protein right now and at the expense of thinking about the variety of plants and fiber. So I think that book has really sat with me. But to be honest, I feel like at this point in my career, what has been the most eye-opening and expansive is thinking about nervous system regulation and hormones. And partly it's because I think I've read quite a few books about nutrition and I've learned a lot about nutrition that I don't think I'm going to learn something super revolutionary now. But I do think that one of the most important things that women can do that will really set the foundation is work on their nervous system. And one of the books that I just read that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but I think should, is called The Connection Code. It's by Dr. Melissa Saunders. And she talks about the importance of, especially as we're in our 30s and 40s, like moving out of that survival mode and kind of resetting your nervous system through what she calls micro moments. And so I think this is really practical for moms because when we think about self-care, it's usually in like 60-minute routines, right? I'm going to go get a massage. I'm going to go get a pedicure. I'm going to go on this vacation. And that feels so unrealistic. But actually, what your body likes more is like resetting throughout the day. So she talks about if you're at work, or maybe you're with your kids, of like doing a water break, right? Doing a water break and staying off your phone and just kind of drinking and being with your body, breathing and like calming down a little bit, slowing your heart rate a little bit. Because what we tend to do, even like going to the bathroom, is like, okay, that's like a break, but we find our phone, or we're waiting in line, we're waiting in the elevator, we're like dopamine hit with our phone. And so how can you, instead of adding more things to your to-do list when it comes to self-care, of like finding these micro moments to do nothing, which is so uncomfortable for so many of us, but it's such a free thing that you can do. And I think what I love most about it is it's like we can't add more to our day. Our day is so full, but we can take away some of that stimulus whenever possible. And she talks about also the change with perimenopause in terms of brain waves. And she talks about the theta brainwave is this like inner intuitiveness, right? It is something that it's triggered during moments of like insight and creativity and meditation. And it can become, she calls, heightened during perimenopause. And that's one of the reasons, in addition to hormonal, but it's this neuropsychological change that can happen where you start to really feel like, I don't like that. Like that's a yes, that's a no. And that filter becomes removed because we're more clear about what our needs are and we're not as afraid to speak up about them. And so she talks about these micro moments of like finding ways to kind of calm your nervous system down, get clear about what you need, and then vocalize it in a way that can be received well. And you're so good at this, Elana. It's something I've learned from you. It's like, really, how do you, instead of like shouting or being passive aggressive about your needs, just being like, hey, this is what this would provide for me. Or, here's what I really need in this moment, instead of saying, I need this or I need that. Like, there's so many great ways of expressing your needs. So I thought that was a really cool book. And Dr. Carrie Jones on Hello Hormones just did an interview with her. So that one's really good too. We can put that in the show notes. And then, like you, I also like to just completely detach from reality and go into like a fantasy world at night too with books. I find that that can really help me calm down and fall asleep faster. So I don't know if you've watched it yet. If you haven't, you should. On Amazon Prime, there's a new book series that went to video called Off Campus, and it's by Elle Kennedy. That one is so good. It's like a college romance. They're all like hockey players, like athletes, but it's so sweet. And the themes are really great. So that one, I love that series. The other series I've liked recently is called Windy City by Liz Tomford.
I just read
you like that one too?
Oh, yeah. That's why I've never heard of Off Campus. I'll have to add it to my TBR.
You'll like it if you like Windy City.
But Windy City was amazing.
Yeah. And that one's coming to film too. And then I also liked The Housewife. That one was like less romance, but more like mystery, and so that one was really unique too. I think those are really great. And then I'll finish up with the health shifts so that I've been thinking about over the 30s and 40s kind of entering. Is one thing I've been prioritizing is asking myself if things really matter. And it's so funny because my kids and I just had this conversation in the car the other day of like, they were choosing the music and they were like, in the car kind of playing with stuff on the Tesla screen, and they're like, you're not really bothered by that much. And I was like, you know what? Like, I think the progesterone has helped for sure in some of this nervous system regulation. But what I really want to work on is like making sure the things that I do care about are actually heard, right? If everything is a problem, then nothing is a problem to them. And yes, some things might irritate me, but the more I can just like let the little things brush off, then they're going to realize that, okay, these things are actually important to me. And so that's one thing. And then same thing with like work and health as well. Is like, okay, if I think everything is a priority at work, nothing is a priority. So really getting clear on not being able to do everything and focusing on the things that I think will move the needle the most. And then finally, I'll wrap up is like allowing things that make me feel good, I think, in my 40s. And so, I know some of these things aren't very crunchy, like going to get a manicure and getting my hair dyed again, and like finding fun clothing and doing a clothing rental. Like none of that is organic or like non-toxic free. But I think, again, picking your battles and finding like what lights you up, like what excites you about trying new clothes or trying a new hairstyle. You don't have to live 100% granola life. And some of those things can really make your life a lot more fun and playful. So
I think that's why we've like done a lot more for like the scrunchy moms. Like I would call this scrunchy Steph, where our heart is definitely into the non-toxic and the crunchy stuff. But we also like, there's a time and a place for conventional medicine. There's a time and a place for a manicure. There's a time and a place for rental clothing. Like why? We don't have to choose one side or another. And there's no judgment there. It's like, there's got to be a balance. Otherwise, your life is just like stressed,
Yeah.
So I love that. And I love that about us. I think that we can really share that authentically and really help inspire other moms to give them permission to do that.
Yeah.
I also want to say a couple things about, and then we'll go into my stuff. But, through clinical practice, prior to seeing just pediatrics, I used to see general medicine throughout my residency, my first couple years of practice. And I just saw such a correlation with my patients who had a challenging time through perimenopause and menopause. And when I would go through their history, there was always a lot of stress and a lot of adrenal fatigue and a lot of cortisol imbalances. And I would just see it time and time and time again. And I would be curious, like, why do some women go through this so easily? Not that it's easy, but just without as many symptoms, compared to women who just have so many symptoms. And so when I would get curious, I just started seeing that correlation. And at that moment, I realized, Elana, try your very best to not get too stressed, to not get too burnt out. Otherwise, it's going to really like nip you in the butt later on in life.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, it's been one of my biggest reasons why I try to run my business without anyone on my team being, like too stressed. I try to take those micro moments because you're right. It's unrealistic for us moms to be able to continuously, consistently have those big moments because someone is sick or someone needs you or someone just threw up or someone just peed their pants or, it's just like these inevitable things. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I love that this is a priority for you because I really do think ultimately it's going to pay off in the end. All of these little things over the time, right? Day in, day out will pay off. So I think that's so important for moms to hear. And then just the last thing, I've already gotten your birthday present and I think I've nailed it now. Just hearing all of your stuff. I'm so excited because I was like unsure. I even texted Brian. I was like, okay, I've got these ideas. Anyway, I'm so excited about it. So I think that this is going to be very aligned for what you're up for.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. I mean, look, I did my very best to get to know you, but me and Michelle, one of our best friends, the three of us, we went in on it this. So I'm really excited to hand it to you when I see you. But I am really, really looking forward to seeing you in your 40s, Steph. I've seen such a tremendous change. You're right with the progesterone, but just also just over time, maturing and learning about life and, all this stuff that we get to do. But I really do think 40s is going to be your best decade because I just see you happier and happier over these years. Yeah. So, I think it's just going to be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that comes for you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, you're a good example as well.
Well, I've got my grays and I'm happy about it. And I try, like you said, to show our kids, like, this is okay. So what? I'm older, I'm more seasoned. So what? And I hope that helps them. Just like you said, that reel, the 25-year-olds, just like embrace it more. But it starts with us embracing it and being those models for our kiddos. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'm dying to hear how things are going for you. Cause I think before we started, I was trying to tease it out of you of like, how are you doing? You're like, I have so much to share. Let's wait for the podcast. So how are things going?
Yeah. Okay. So Steph, I hate to kind of like be like a Debbie Downer because I feel like you just like had like so many great things and nights, but here's like the real for us here. Yeah. So Revi is turning 1 in August. Yeah. So I would say really getting used to what it's like with 4 kids. Yeah. And I want to be so honest because I feel like now I've been like attracting a lot of moms with 4s. And so I'm always like asking like, how is it for you? Yeah. And I have to be honest, it is so much work, Steph. Like, it is so different than 3. And I want to preface this for a listener who may be like thinking about 4 or contemplating, do I want to have more kids? And I want to say this like wholeheartedly. I truly believe every family is unique. My experience sharing with you, please do not say like this is the end all be out because really every family is different and it may go really smoothly with yours. I don't know. So I don't want to be the person to tell you do it or not do it. I just want to be here to share my experience. Okay. So please take it with a grain of salt in that way. I personally went into having 4 feeling like 3 was really manageable and my cup wasn't like full yet. And I was a little bit concerned because I was like, I don't really want a full cup. Like I really hope we could do it. And we made a lot of significant changes, Steph, to be able to say yes to it. Like we moved from California to Boise, which is a much slower pace. And thank God we're here. I mean, we're so happy to be here. I was able to like semi-retire my husband from his job because my business was doing so well. So thinking, okay, financially, if we could do this, like, I feel like it's God's plan. Like, if we can do this, how can we not bring like another child into the world? And my father who has passed, I hear him talk to me at times, which is such a gift. He always was like encouraging us to have another child. And I really felt like I was listening to that. And I also have this beautiful gift that I hear my children's voices and their souls come to me even prior to conception. And I really heard Revi. I knew he was a boy. I knew he would be great. And we knew we had to have it. And I have zero regrets, Steph. When you meet him, because you haven't met him yet.
I know. I can't wait.
He is just this little angel. He's really a very special child. And it's just, I'm so happy to have him. He's also an easy child. So for me to feel this way, it's just crazy because he's so easy too. Easy, quote unquote, still very needy, but in a very baby-like way. With all that said, I feel like my cup is full, Steph, for the first time in a long time. And I felt like my cup was really full when I owned the medical center and I was seeing a lot of patients and I was managing a lot of other MDs and NDs. And it was just so taxing. There was just so much to get done. And I very intentionally shifted my career away from the medical center to more online so that I had more flexibility and freedom in my life. Yeah. So that I can have more babies and I can be more flexible. And I just, this last year, I'm feeling less of that freedom and flexibility. I feel like with the 4th, there's just so many needs that need to be met. And at every hour, and different ages calls for different needs, different times. There's just like a never shut off time, unless I'm now finally putting the baby to bed and saying, guys, I'm done. I'm reading my book. Go to your dad. You know what I mean? I need to just stop. And that's why I think I've loved reading so much lately because it's literally my only quiet time. And it's also dependent on when he falls asleep, because some days he falls asleep quickly and some days you're like, bud, it's been an hour. Like, can
I
you please go
know.
to sleep? So with that said, I'm just being honest. I know it's a
Yeah.
season and I
Yeah.
know it's going to pass at some point, although I don't know when. But a couple beautiful things that have come from it is that more now than ever, Steph, everyone needs to be a teammate in our family. So
Mhm.
Adina, at 3 years old, is doing the dishes with my husband, unpacking the
Wow.
dishwasher. She loves it. It's like her favorite
Yeah.
chore. She gets excited. Rafi is in the kitchen more than ever, helping me chop and helping me cook. He loves doing it, and I need the extra hands.
Yeah.
Aviva's helping with the baby at times. So watching the baby while I'm showering or doing more like babysitting stuff. And every time someone, whether it's complain or I said, it is a team, guys. Like
Yeah.
we have to be teammates. There is so much that needs to get done that we need all hands on deck. And as much as they may complain, sometimes they love it. And sometimes they may not like it, but I think they're learning more about what it's like to be a team and learning that their contribution matters. And
Yeah.
I think it's also giving them some responsibility, right? Like they're contributing. So there's a lot more collaboration, which I think is a gift and great. Although sometimes you're like, oh, I could just do it faster, right? But I
Yeah.
remind myself of that interview I did with Micklin Dushan. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm sorry, but she's the author of Hunt Parent Gather. She's a fantastic. And I always remember she always said, like, anytime they seem interested in any chore or like anything around the house, I know it'll take more time and I know it'll be harder and it'll be slower, but like, let them do it. Like, let them do it so that one day they're going to be able to take the lead. And it is so true. It's never been more loud before with this is like, let the 3-year-old help you unload the dishes in the dishwasher, because I promise now she's like doing it. And you're
Yeah.
like, she's 3, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Never underestimate their potential because you really need help around the house.
Yeah.
Plus, it's good for them to learn this. So, anyway, I'm just being honest about it. It's just the needs and the amount of work that it goes. And then the second real big part that I'm finding is my time with Anthony.
Mm.
There is not like a nanny that we can hire that can really watch all 4 kids. It's a lot of humans.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're not amazing. And even our family, we don't have any family here. Although actually some news stuff, my father-in-law is moving here. He's
Oh.
moving here next month. It was kind of like a last minute thing. We didn't
that's
even
great.
know he was wanting to do, but he's like, I miss you guys. I want to be around the
Wow.
kids. So as a single man, he's just going to move to Boise, totally new place. We're really excited for him. I think it's going to be a great move for him. But like he can't handle 4 kids either. You know, I don't expect that at age 77. But maybe he can watch 1 or 2 kids for a couple hours and maybe then a nanny can watch another 2 so Anthony and I can have some alone time. And look, the baby's so young. I'm nursing around the clock, so it's not this season, but I think soon we'll be able to do that. So we always just remind ourselves that this is a short term. We choose this, it's great. But anytime we take a date, we take the baby. So it doesn't really feel like a date, but at least we get away or we go on a hike or we do something. So I just feel like it's been catching up to me because I value that freedom and flexibility so much that it just doesn't feel like we're ever really off. And we've just started doing more alone time. So Saturday mornings, Anthony will take his time and I watch the kids. And then Saturday afternoons, he watches the kids and I take my alone time. So I'm finally getting like alone time, which is great because I can be away from the baby for 3 to 4 hours. Like that's amazing. But there's still something unsettled for me. Like it still doesn't feel like I found my true balance quite yet.
Yeah.
And I'm just so ready for it. It's been 10 months and I'm craving it. And I think I just need to give myself some grace that it's just not there yet. And that's okay. But I'm
Yeah.
like, is it going to be like another year until he's fully weaned? Or like, what is it going to look like? But I know we'll get there.
Yeah.
And I wish it was like tomorrow, you know, just to be completely honest. It's starting to just drain me, but I don't like walking around with a full cup. But that's okay. I chose to have 4 kids and I really do love it. And I know it was destined for us, but we're very clear that like we're done having kids, which is also like sad. You know, like it's like, why can't I handle more? Some moms have 6 or 7 kids, you know? But officially, so this is the news, is Anthony just got his vasectomy yesterday.
Okay.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I guess I don't think like I've like truly processed that up here.
Yeah.
So like the tears are
Yeah.
coming, like
Yeah.
I've been so busy, you know, I
I
haven't like really
know.
processed it. But
Yeah.
I think it is like really sad for me. I love my babies. Like I love kids. And I just feel like it's something like so natural for us women and men to have this like godly gift to like be able to procreate and
Yeah.
raise kids. And I think I'm just so sad that it's like, it's not that I'm done because I say so. I am done because I say so now, but it's more like I feel like I can't handle anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like sad that that's our reality, that like if I got pregnant accidentally, it would be so hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm done being pregnant. I'm done. This is the last baby I'm nursing. Like, I want my life back in some way, saying that, quote unquote. And I hate that because it's like these babies are so special and they're my life.
Yeah.
But I'm so sad that I've reached my max. And I'm so certain that I've said, okay, it's time. Go get the vasectomy. And he's like, are you sure? You know, because I think
Yeah.
in an
Yeah.
ideal world, we would just like keep on making babies until I hit menopause or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, it's so clear that it's time.
Yeah.
And so just like,
Mm.
it's just like an emotional time for me. So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
there's
I
that to
see you.
share.
Yeah. Oh, well, first of all, I see you, and I'm sure there's people that are listening that are like, I completely agree.
Yes.
Like, it's so hard to know when's the time and to let go of that and to be okay with your decision. And it is your decision, and to kind of process it. I mean, yesterday, like, that's so soon. So it is very raw and real. And there's a lot to process, but it's so beautiful how much you love being a mom and like what a gift these kids have to have been born by you, and just all the love and just like the infinite capacity you have for them, even if it feels limited.
No, I love them
And
so much. And it is so hard, Steph. And I
yeah.
always remind myself this saying, it's like, I didn't become a mom for an easy life. Like, I
No.
became a
Yeah.
mom for a very fulfilling life, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
it's so rich and so full and so fulfilling. And it is not easy. And I think us moms just have to give ourselves more grace and remind ourselves that. And it's okay that there are hard days and it's okay that there's hard seasons.
Yeah.
But I think like the slump that I'm in right now, maybe you can even help me with this, or
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm like not like the fun mom anymore. It's like there's
Yeah.
so much to do that I'm constantly like in the kitchen cooking, telling them
Yeah.
no. And like it's
Yeah.
just like there's just so many things going on. Or like my daughter, you know, she's like, "Can you read me this book?" And I'm like, "I want to read you this book, but like I have to change this poopy diaper and I need to get dinner on the table and I need to wash my hands and I'm so sorry, honey. I so badly want to read you this book. What do you think
Yeah.
if we can read it in 30 minutes right after dinner? Does that sound good?" Like I'm
Yeah.
constantly having
Yeah.
to just be like, no, I can't do this right now. Or like, I have no
Yeah.
energy for this. Or like,
Yeah.
I so want to take you to the pool and I have to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's the other big thing for me, Steph, is like, I'm the sole provider of my family.
Yeah.
And we've chosen it, and I don't make my husband wrong for, I mean, he's doing so much with the kids. Like, it is a full team approach with these 4 kids. But like, it's also sad, especially over summer, where I'm like, I want to go to the zoo, or like, I want to go to the library with you guys. And I'm getting like pictures or videos. And it's just like the first time that I've had a hard time getting myself excited about work. And then I'll work and I'm like, okay, I know why I love this. Like, I love connecting with the moms. So it still brings me joy, thank goodness, because otherwise it'd be so much harder.
Yeah.
I feel so much for those moms who like hate what they're doing or something and they're still taken away. So like, I'm so grateful I can make the impact and provide for my family. And, but it's also sad at times,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I'm just hearing it's like, I think sometimes we have this definition of what a fun mom is, and it's like completely unrealistic because my kids are older too, right? So my world and my responsibilities with parenting is very, very different than
Yes.
yours. Like you're in the thick of it. And I think, even for me, I'm like, oh my God, I want to be the fun mom in the summer. Like I want to be able to have off and not have my nanny take them to the pool. I want to take them to the pool. So there's like a lot of mom guilt no matter where you're at and like how many kids and how old they are. But I also think about like, your baby's just starting to walk. And this is such a busy time. We all remember, your other kids too. It's like, that's probably one of the busiest times you're in right now. It's like when they're not moving, it's like, oh, yeah, they need to feed a lot, but you don't have to watch them and it's not as intense. So that's what I'm thinking about for you right now is like how much even Aviva has stepped up
Oh, yeah.
and Adina. And they're still so young and Rafi. So it's in your future where you're going to have more of that freedom again. But when you're in the thick of it, it feels like it's never going to come, especially
Right.
when you're not getting the sleep or you're not able to be with Anthony and feel more like yourself. Every day feels like 50.
You're so spot on. Thank you. I totally feel heard because he's in every cabinet. He's climbing the stairs. It's all consuming. And usually it's like such a fun stage. And right now I'm like, bud, slow down. Like you're my last, slow down. You're going to be a toddler any day. For sure. By the time this airs, I think he's going to be walking. Like, I hope not. I don't know. But, and it's almost like I don't see an end in sight because I'm like, okay, then he's going to be running. And then what am I going to do? But it's going to come. I also want to mention, because I think a lot of moms can relate to this, and especially our listeners specifically, I think we're very intentional parents. We are not the kind of parents who just like sends their kid off or doesn't even think about like, oh, they're going to be fine. They can just eat whatever. Or they can, oh, summer, it doesn't matter. They don't need to read a book. Or I don't know. Or, oh, just go in front of YouTube all day. Like, there are parents like that. And that makes parenting much easier. And I get it. The screens, some save me sometimes. Like, I just need 30 minutes. Can you just sit here right now? And there's no shame in that. It's just like they're just binging on YouTube day after day after day after day. And you're just like not even caring or watching. I think the listeners here, we're all very intentional parents, which makes it that much more energy consuming because we care so much. And so I think the other thing with having the 4 kids is they're different ages. So if my attention's not going to Revy because he's walking or trying to walk, it's going to my daughter who like is now wanting to put on makeup and do her nails. And now I'm trying to teach her about non-toxic stuff because she's going through puberty, and I'm like, okay, did I get that right? Or then it's like my son who really wants to kill a squirrel. Still, Steph, it's like his mission. It's everything is a weapon. And so it's like, okay, how do we allow him to, explore his adventures, but still stay safe, It's like he just got stitches the other day. And it's like, okay. And then it's like Adina, who's just like this sweet, sweet soul who just got her expanders. Yeah, we haven't even talked about this. It's like, so it's like, I want to like be there for her. I want to make sure that we're getting like the body work and the myofunctional therapy for her and to make sure that she's feeling comfortable and what she's eating. And it's like, there's just so many little things that become big things for an individual to thrive, that I'm just so pulled in so many different directions. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And I still need to work. You know what I mean? The beautiful thing about my work is that it's so aligned with my family. So it's like, I get to share about expanders. Like I get to share about puberty and child. I get to share about starting solids. It's so aligned for me. And I think that's the only reason why I continue to do this work, and I continue to do, because I love sharing my life and what's working, what's not working. And also like the questions that I have and how I came to this medical choice, or, also being the mom who, if I'm panicked, I just come up with a plan, and then that provides peace. And then I love to share that plan with moms. So that's why I have a library of plans, because that's how it all got created. It's like, I love having these plans. So anyway, thank you for letting me share. This is why when you ask me how you're doing, I'm like, I think we should just wait for the episode, because I just wanted to share it with you. I want to share it with our listeners. I'm always about sharing the real kind of behind the scenes, because a lot of moms say to me like, how do you do this all, as if like I'm doing it all, and I'm not doing it all. We have nannies who come here and there, like high schoolers who just give us a little break, or I have a whole team in my business helping me. Like my husband helps so much. He's such a proactive, hands-on dad, like I know so many moms who their husbands are working 5-6 days a week, early morning to night, like they're on their own. I'm like, oh my God, I'd be so much more exhausted. So I'm doing my best.
Yeah, you are. And that's enough. You're doing your best, and that's enough too. I think it's so easy to get in a world of like, well, I could be doing this better. I could be a more fun mom. I could be more available. I could be giving them more appointments for X, Y, and Z or therapies. And you're doing more than enough. And I think just reminding yourself of that too, because we can be our own worst critic. I think anybody looking at you is like, wow, like they're so amazed, and they think you're a fun mom. I'm sure everybody thinks you're a fun mom.
I'm like, I'm so bored. I was like, come on, Elana, where's the more fun? Anthony's so fun. And I'm like, I'm so serious. I'll get there.
You'll get there. I think it's a lot, and you're processing a lot with the vasectomy, and coming to that decision alone is like so draining, and it's a reality, an awareness for you. So
thanks, Steph.
I see you, and I know everybody that's listening can see you too.
I'm sure they all
I was for sure done it too. I am in such awe of moms that have more than 2 kids, because 2 feels like 40 to me, and so I definitely give you so much respect, and there's so much love in your house.
Well, thank you. When you come out to Boise and we're all on like that women's retreat, please help me with Revy. I'm so nervous
Yeah.
about going.
Yeah,
With
I
like,
will. I
I'm like, I
will.
think there'll be a lot of us like moms who are like, I missed the baby stage. Can I just hang with him for a little bit so you can like
Oh,
go to the
yeah.
bathroom or
Oh,
something, you know?
100%. We've got you.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much. That'll be great because I'm so looking forward to seeing you guys, but I'm also like, is this even going to be relaxing for me? You know?
It
So
will. I
I
think
hope
it
it
will.
will be.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm so excited to see you, Steph. I'm so
Yeah.
excited just like celebrate your 40th and just like love on you, be with like a bunch of girlfriends. And like, you're right, just take some time to reflect. I didn't even realize the vasectomy thing brought up emotions
Oh,
until I'm like,
sure. You're just
away
like,
from
go,
the
go,
kids.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because really right now I'm like, sure, Anthony, you rest and I'll take care of the four kids, you know? And if I'm not taking care of the
Hmm.
four kids, I'm working. And like there's a nanny here because he needs to be like chilling for a week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was really great. Thank you
Oh,
for having a little vet session here. I
of
appreciate
course.
it.
Always, always amazing. Well, thank you for being so open and honest. And yeah, it's fun to have these conversations because we're never alone in these thoughts. Even if it's moving to 3 kids or 2 kids, like you might be feeling these similar things too. So Elana and I are your friends in your corner, and we are very open and happy to talk about these things with you and share what we're going through. And excited for another great season ahead
Mhm.
with solo episodes and guest interviews. And keep us posted if any topics that you're interested in we haven't covered yet. We have the flexibility to add those in and make sure you get your questions
Yes.
answered. So thank you all so much. And thank you to Bob, my dad, for editing, and our team, Magic and Ashley, for making this possible. And thank you, Ilana, for your time and flexibility today. I know we had to reschedule a bunch of times, but
Oh
that's
no,
mom
I'm so
life.
happy we did it. Steph, I hate to do this, but can I just add one more thing? I just realized, and I'm so sorry, moms. You're probably like, just, I want to go. It's actually three things that I do as far as when I get down like this.
Yeah.
What are like three things that I do to like really help me kind of get back to being feeling like myself? So one of them is I get blood work done. And I actually just got a blood drawn
You
this
did.
morning because I wanted to check my thyroid again. It's so
Yeah.
common postpartum for thyroid to be out. And oftentimes when I get more tired and a little bit like on like the depressed side, it's
Yeah.
often just saying I need a little bit of a higher dose. And it could
Yep.
just be a short term because I'm not getting as much sleep but that's important. So look, you with your progesterone, me with the thyroid, we do this ourselves. So I
Iron.
think we're thriving because we're on top of that. Okay. So that's one thing. The second thing is I lean on homeopathy a lot. I take this one remedy called sepia so
Mm.
often during my postpartum,
Yep.
especially when I get like really irritable with like my husband and or my kids. And I'm like, I know I love you guys, but like guys are just like, I just don't touch me, you know, or
I know.
and I'm like, whoa, Ilana, like that's not you. And so I just like take a dose and it just kind of like takes the edge off. And
Yeah.
sometimes I can go 3 days, sometimes I can go 3 months without taking another dose. But like just the other day, I was like, I think I need to take another dose. So homeopathy. And then the third one, and this is so simple, but it's actually hydration. I
Mm.
actually truly find when I'm in these slumps, I don't drink as much. And I just kind of like forget to add electrolytes, or my kids steal my water bottle and I think I'm drinking more and I don't. And then I'm like, am I dehydrated? Like, I just feel foggy. Like I feel off. So I just like make it a real big habit to always have a water bottle. Maybe
Yeah.
I add electrolytes. Maybe I even, I don't know, whatever, to go get like a sparkling water or a kombucha or an Olipop. Like I don't even care. Just get liquid in
Yeah.
because I think I'm like not as thirsty. I'm just like, but it's so important. So those are three things I lean on when I start feeling this like
Yeah.
off. And then soon enough, I'm like back to like that happy self and I'm okay. And then inevitably I kind of slump back, but at least I have these like tools that I look at. So hopefully I could just want to end with practical
Yeah.
things that I think both of us do
Oh, yeah.
during those slumps, which are so common in motherhood
Yeah.
that maybe you can rely on too. So, okay. I just wanted to
Yeah.
end it with those
Yeah.
two.
No, I do those same things. And I think even just what we did here today is just like being vocal. Like
Yeah.
that's such therapy for women, is just kind
Huge,
of
huge.
expressing. And then sometimes you walk away and you're like, okay, I feel better. Or like, oh,
There,
I know what I'm
no
gonna do
question,
now.
Steph.
Yeah.
Thank you for adding that. So there's a fourth.
Yeah.
There's no question that
Yeah.
helps, at least for me and most personalities. Or
Yeah.
if you're not like an extrovert, to even if it's one person, or journaling. So it's not
Yeah.
even a person, but get it
Mhm.
out. Yes, I
Yeah.
love that. Okay, we'll let you go. Sorry, moms, but we love this and we love doing this together. And again, yeah, let us know if there's other episodes or even topics that you want to hear. But we love doing at least these episodes, doing some interviews and doing some solo episodes. It's a fun mix. But all right, mamas, thank you. And thanks to our team. I always love to thank our team and our podcast partners. So we've got Active Skin Repair, we've got Needed. We love these brands so much. They're in our medicine cabinets literally always. So we hope that you would please show them some love, use the codes that we always offer. And then, yeah, support us here. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Steph.